Granted, the smell of chainsaw fumes is the most beautiful smell ever.
Today, I'm going to be talking with Jordan Brawner, the co-owner of Little Spider Creations. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and welcome to yet another interview right here on the GMHaunts YouTube channel. Just last week, I returned to my interviewing ways with my video talking with Chris Pratt, the owner of Screamium Halloween, and today, I have yet another very exciting guest because I'm going to be speaking with Jordan Brawner, the co-owner of Little Spider Creations, one of the biggest fabricating haunt companies in the entire Halloween industry. Little Spider Creations has been operating for over 30 years, creating some of the most awesome and impressive haunt pieces that you'll ever see. They've worked on haunted houses, amusement parks, and even down to tabletop items. Little Spider Creations won the Best Booth Award for the TransWorld 2023 Halloween show in February, and they're looking to do it again in just about a week at the America Center in St. Louis. We're going to be talking about all these things and more with the co-owner of Little Spider Creations, but before I jump into anything, I did just want to touch on the shirt that I'm currently wearing. What you're taking a look at is the brand new For Everything Scary set of GMHaunts tees. This upcoming Friday, March 1st, 2024, I'm going to be dropping 2 new pieces of official GMHaunts merchandise. One of those pieces will be this beautiful purple For Everything Scary t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. This is an all-new design that I am releasing for the first time this upcoming Friday. The other shirt that you'll be able to pick up is this wonderful black version of the same design. You can see that awesome For Everything Scary logo across the front, and then on the back of the t-shirt, it's the same for the purple one as well. You have that awesome GMHaunts with the YouTube logo beneath it. Both of these shirts will be available this upcoming Friday, March 1st, 2024, so make sure to mark your calendar and keep your eye on my YouTube community page as well as my Instagram, where I'll be providing the links to where you can pick up your own brand new For Everything Scary t-shirt this upcoming Friday, March 1st, 2024. But without any further ado, let's jump right into the interview with the co-owner of Little Spider Creations, Mr. Jordan Brawner.
Thanks, Griffin. So happy to be back, even though nobody's seen me, but you have.
Yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say before we get into this at all, a huge thank you out to Jordan and Little Spider Creations, because we actually filmed this interview one time a couple of weeks ago, and my computer decided to completely crap out on the entire footage and just ended up as a completely static photo with audio on top of it. So Jordan was the very, very kind man that he is and decided to come back on here and give me a second try, and now we're going to get this interview right. So ladies and gentlemen, I know you want to hear from Mr. Jordan of Little Spider Creations. Let's get right into it. Okay, so I want to start off this interview by asking a question I like to ask a lot of people at the very start, and that is, obviously, you are coming from Little Spider Creations, but to get this interview started, I wanted to ask you if you had to describe Little Spider Creations, the brand, the company, to someone who has never heard of you guys before, how would you describe it in a couple sentences or less?
Griffin, that sounds like every single conversation I have at any trade show I go to, because everybody sees us and they're like, oh, wow, you guys must be new, right? No. No, we're not new. We've been here for 33 years. So, Little Spider Creations does custom fabricating of any visual props for the amusement park and entertainment industries. Specifically, we do a lot of Halloween stuff. We've been doing it for 33 years plus. But that doesn't just pertain to Halloween. It's anything that you need made from some type of concept, reference image into a 3D real life thing. We're the guys that make it happen.
That sounds awesome. Little Spider Creations, you got a lot going on there, and I love that. And this actually goes right into my next question. You just mentioned, of course, Little Spider Creations has been operating for 33 plus years. And like you just said, you guys don't only do haunts and Halloween stuff. Your products and your creations range from Halloween to friendly to just outright impressive. What was the main goal of the company when it was founded? Was Halloween kind of the main focus when Little Spider Creations was started up, or was there something else when the company first became a thing?
No, the main focus was actually Halloween. We started doing latex-based masks and props, and that ran for quite a few years. And then we just started expanding and exploring new options, um, getting into animations, getting into full-scale haunts, not only for ourselves, but then for other businesses, other clients. So the evolution of where we got to now has been just such a wide variety of happenstances. Basically, we're at now because we just didn't say no. Somebody would come to us with some stupid idea, stupid because we've never done it and we were stupid to take it on. But hey, we would. And we'd be like, no, we can do that. I don't know how to do it, but let's do it. And it just kept excelling us and pushing us forward. And most of those things that we tried and we executed didn't really pan out. It didn't work out, or it was just a one off, but it did, give us the experience and this sense of open-mindedness to try different stuff and really find our niche and what we're really good at, leading us to what you know or what you see as Little Spider Creations today.
Absolutely, and that's another reason why I am so interested and curious about Little Spider Creations is because you guys don't just focus on Halloween. You're talented in a lot of different realms, and that allows you to make even better products within the Halloween area because you guys have just gotten so good at making products in general. That's your experience, you're talented, and you're very, very good at making the creations that Little Spider Creations makes. So I feel like it only makes sense for this next question to now let's turn our attention to just the Halloween stuff because this is a Halloween channel, this is a Halloween show. I feel like we gotta just talk about Halloween here, at least for this question. So the next question is, what does that design process look like at Little Spider Creations when you guys are tackling a new project within the Halloween realm? When you have a new client, such as a haunt or someone who just needs a concept done, like you're saying, what is that process from just the idea that the client gives you all the way up to it's finished, it's there, and the client actually has it?
It's a loaded question, Griffin. So basically, we follow the same kind of steps and procedures every single time we talk to a new client, specifically with Halloween or haunt related projects. We I first start out by saying, okay, what is it that you want? What is the theme? What are reference images that you have? Because all my clients have an idea and an image in their head. A lot of times they just can't express it. So they usually provide some type of mood board or something to go along with it. Um, which then I build off of that by now, okay, what are the details? What's the size? What is it doing? And the main focus is what's the application? What is this being used for? How many people are touching it? Will it have to move? All those things really play a key point in the not only design phase, but also the build phase, because I have to understand what is it I'm getting myself into to price out my processes following. So after we do that, then if there's any imagery that we have to supply on our own, we usually do hand sketches. From those hand sketches, then I go into 3D modeling. And then from the 3D models, then I actually get it printed out. We have a whole family of 3D printers now that we're just constantly printing random stuff for references. And then once that's approved and everybody agrees with it and the client loves it, not specifically to haunted houses are pretty much all just laid out in designs and overhead layouts, understanding where certain elements are going to have to go within the actual building that we're going to be putting the haunt. Everything else, thematics, props, all of that kind of follows after we get the initial design. So after we have an approval, whether it's a 2D design or a 3D design in physical form, then we just go ahead and we start making it. We start carving foam, we start building walls. I start getting with all my wonderful vendors in the haunt industry to start getting me bodies because I don't want to do that. And then I just assemble everything together. If it's just a simple prop, those typically are easy processes. Sculpt it, approve it, hard coat it, paint it, get it out. With haunted houses, we like to erect all the walls inside of our building, and then we set dress it and apply all of our theming to it. Hook up the animations where they're supposed to go, make sure those guys are working, do our lighting, all sorts of stuff. So really just from beginning to end, the entire haunted house is in our studio. We disassemble it, send it out, put it back up, call it a day.
Yeah, and that's another one of the most impressive things I think about Little Spider Creations is obviously you guys do full scale haunts, not like a lot of other companies where you don't just focus on the props, the animatronics, the actual small pieces. You guys are putting together full pieces, like you're saying, for everything that's going to go in a haunted house and giving it to the client basically as a here's your full haunt. We just put the whole thing together. That's incredibly impressive because there aren't a lot of companies that do that in the current haunt market, and that's why I feel like Little Spider Creations is super unique, and just an awesome company for the work you do within the haunt industry.
So Griffin, to go back to your point of, um, or not your point, but my point to one of your previous questions of, we usually don't say no, which is where we have ended up where we're at. But with the all-inclusive turnkey haunted houses, I don't usually produce every single tiny piece that goes into a tried it, doesn't really work out. It's a lot of moving parts. So I rely on the expertise within the industry of people that do things that I really don't even want to dabble in, or I did dabble in it, and guess what? Didn't really go anywhere. So I like to consider us more of an aggregate of the industry for specifically haunted houses or any of these robust um, jobs that I'm working on because I love working with everybody else in the industry. It takes a village really to do an amazing job, and I've recognized that. So we stick with what we're really good at, which is a huge portfolio of stuff that we're really good at. But there are elements of weakness that I've identified to where I just rely on other people in our industry that do it way better than me. I don't want to compete on their level. So why not work with us? So that's really what gets us to an amazing product that I am proud to deliver is because it's not just us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we put it together, but it's the whole industry really working together to make just an amazing product.
What you're saying kind of lends itself perfectly to my next question as you're talking about doing turnkey haunts and everything within the industry, and that is, does Little Spider Creations have a theme or a motif that you personally believe you guys do best? Obviously, like we've already touched on, you guys do a lot of different things and you'll do basically anything, as you're saying, within the haunt world, but is there something you in particular like working on or think Little Spider Creations is particularly strong with, such as clowns, harvest themes, the common things we see within the haunt industry?
There's two things that we're good at and we like doing. One, a majority of my clientele just knows us as we're the big prop company. Anything that somebody has that they need made that is a large sculpted something, immediately they think of us. There's nobody else in the industry that I'm aware of that really can accomplish the quality and the budget restraints that we can. So that's not necessarily a specific motif or theme, but the product of large format sculpting is really what we're good at, what we like doing, as well as what we're known for.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is really just any UV painting, which does rely heavily on clowns and carnivals and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, we do clowns a lot. Clowns are so overdone everywhere. So we do really good UV painting, faux painting, all of that stuff to completely dress out a haunt. A lot of my clients, they come to me with little to no money, and I'm like, sweet, guess what you're getting? You're getting a UV haunt with painted walls. It's gonna look great, but that's all you're gonna get. And actually, there's a third one, pumpkins. We do pumpkins. We do pumpkins all the time. You have a pumpkin in the back. We didn't make that, but it reminds me that we consider ourselves pumpkins are us because every single year we're just producing nothing but pumpkins for Halloween because it's a good middle ground
Mm-hmm.
between kid friendly and scary. I mean, they're not inherently scary, but it represents Halloween. It represents the haunt industry. and it's still good enough that kids can participate in it, because we also have to apply a lot, especially with these theme parks, that it's fun by day, fright by night kind of scenario. So if they're going to dress out the entire park with something, and kids are going to be around it and families going to be around it, typically it always reverts back to some type of pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern or something like that. So I enjoy doing pumpkins. They're easy. They're great. Well, sort of. They're a sphere. Spheres are hard to sculpt. Um, but it's just it's an easy plug, and it's the bigger we go, the better it is. And so I always get a dabble with that. Let's just make a huge pumpkin this time. Why not? Let's go crazy. And we actually do have a whole family of pumpkins that are going to be premiered at TransWorld. Already, they've made such an impact and a splash on the online community. Everybody wants them, and I only made one of each of them. So if you want them, you better buy them now. Um, but those are going to be a really cool piece to display at TransWorld. It's a lot more different than what we're usually doing.
You personally, do you prefer working or designing an amusement park display or set, or working within the confines of a haunt? Obviously, there's going to be pros and cons to each one, and space differences between each one, but I'm just curious, is there one that you prefer over the other?
I love working with amusement parks, um, in the fact that they come to me without many, not so much limitations, but they know what they want, they know where the company to do it, and they give me creative freedom. So I'm able to do really grandiose stuff within their budget, and a lot more creative freedom, to where it's their request, but it's our product that we get to present to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just every time I present a product like that, they're just in awe. They love it. I mean, I my tagline is we go for the wow factor, because there's so many times people see our stuff mainly because of the size, but they see it and they just say, "Wow, like how did you ever do this? This is super cool." Um, and I usually get that response from my amusement park clients, because they can see it in their head, and then when they see it in reality, they're just over the moon. Um, with the haunt side of things, I love working with that, but usually those clientele come to the table with this preconceived notion of what it is they really want. There's little creative freedom on my end, because this is all they do. This is
Mm-hmm.
all they think about, is the haunt and the Halloween and the application of things. And so it's trying to fabricate specifically to that without having all the details in place. Um, it just makes it a little more difficult to really provide a product that they're going to say wow to, because of how much detail is already in their head and expectations of what the product is going to look like at the very end of it.
The two things that come to mind from what you're saying here are, first of all, picking an amusement park, I think, is a great choice there. And I think obviously both are very, very fun to design for, I'm sure. But I feel like if you go to any designer, they want to work on an amusement park. I mean, it's an amusement park. It's basically practically a limited space in the air, because most of the time you're outside, and it's literally an amusement park that could be any ranging different sizes. The second thing that comes to mind is you said creative freedom. That's the main thing designers are always trying to find. And I think especially within the haunt industry and Halloween design, people want creative freedom. So it makes sense with what you're saying. All right, so for this last main question here, Jordan, you know I have to ask you about TransWorld. It's coming up. It's very, very soon, obviously within March. So we're pretty close to TransWorld 2024, and it's on everyone's mind. Obviously, Little Spider Creations won the Best TransWorld Booth Award for the 2023 show. You guys have become a staple of TransWorld. You're the first booth when you walk into that show, and a lot of people go to TransWorld to see Little Spider Creations. I know you can't give away too much, and I know you want to keep a lot of it secret, so you have that surprise factor, but are there any little hints you can give as to what your TransWorld 2024 booth will look like, the size of it, or what kind of crazy ideas you guys are going to be going for 2024?
I already gave some of it away. Obviously, we're going to have pumpkins there at the show. We are trying something a little bit different, with the um, products and presentation that we're going to be showcasing. We're really bad at providing smaller pieces that are more affordable to a lot of people that go to TransWorld. So you will be seeing a plethora of options with some cash and carry stuff, all of which, for the most part, is our designs into a smaller piece that everybody can kind of take home. Um, Scale wise, we're still just as big. We're probably bigger this time. Probably not. We had a pumpkin tower last year. We're not going to go that high, but we are bringing some massive, gorgeous pieces, not only in set design that you're going to see, but also in, of course, our sculpted products. So we do have quite a bit of jaw dropping. If your jaw isn't dropping by the time you walk up to our booth, I don't know how to impress you. I mean, we're throwing everything at this yet again because we are the first booth.
Mhm.
And I feel like we're, responsible for setting the tone for trans world. Not based out of ego, just hey, we're the first booth. We got to look good. Geez. No pressure kind of a thing. Um, so yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be highly detailed. There's going to be something for everybody this year, finally. And I'll actually have pricing on stuff because I usually never don't. Because I'm like, what? You don't want to buy this whole winter mansion theme that's obviously not going to fit your haunted house. That's weird. But hey, it's here. So, yes, super mysterious, but at the same time, something to look forward to.
Absolutely. I am super excited, and I'm sure my jaw will be dropped once I see that booth. I was amazed by the Pumpkin Tower last year, and I'm sure I'm going to be amazed once again when I walk into TransWorld this year and see the Little Spider Creations booth. But, Jordan, I got one last question for you, and it is, of course, the bloody bonus. We have the envelope with the letter A on it. We've got the envelope with the letter B on it. Both are mysteriously covered in blood. But there's got to be no investigation. It's just covered in blood. This is the bloody bonus question. So, Jordan, you got a choice here. A or B?
Which one did I do last time?
I
A? I
think
think A.
I think you did A last time.
Let's switch it up. Let's go with B.
All right. B. And by the way, for all the viewers, Jordan is getting a different bloody bonus. There's two different ones here than what he got last time. So, no knowing the answer. I don't do that on GMHaunts. Got to give you all kind of new questions here. You gotta have new questions.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good one. Okay, brand new question for Jordan. So, the question is, you have a new client, calls up Little Spider Creations, and they tell you that they just bought a brand new home that they want to decorate for their liking. But this is the thing. You have three different options of who those clients could be. Freddy Krueger, that's an option right there. Leatherface, that's an option right there. Or Dr. Frankenstein. Those are your three homeowners. Which one are you going to call back to design their home?
So I have the option to call one of them back.
You do.
And
You can only call one back.
Okay. And I'm completely redesigning their house.
You are.
Doing the interior decorating.
You are.
Last time it was Dracula or Dr. Frankenstein. I said no to Dr. Frankenstein because I'm like, you can't mess with those aesthetics. So I think gut reaction, I would definitely call Freddy Krueger back.
I see.
I mean, he's not just one theme. He's not just one scene. I mean, he is everything. He's everybody's nightmares, which I mean is not the same reoccurring nightmare. I mean, he's the character within it, but scenic wise, you have so much more play to deal with that. Granted, you're also inviting Freddy Krueger to haunt your nightmares and kill you when you get home. So if you don't do a good job, I'm screwed. But I think for the sake of creative freedom, Freddy Krueger would probably be the best to work with versus the others. I could only assume they're going to be just a nightmare to work with.
That was good. That was good.
Thanks. Dad jokes.
Was good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the bloody bonus question for this interview. Let me know which one you would pick. Personally, I would have to go with Leatherface just because I'm such a big Texas Chainsaw fan, and I would love to redecorate that house. I mean, the
He
things
would
you
be
can do with
so hard to
Leatherface.
communicate with, though.
That's
He doesn't
true. That's
talk.
true. That's true.
Yeah, good luck with that. He'll just grunt and moan the entire time holding his chainsaw. Granted, the smell of chainsaw fumes is the most beautiful smell ever. So that wouldn't be too bad.
Well,
But
I think what you just said will end up being the stinger for this video. The intro is just going to be, is that right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, what better way to end this interview than Jordan's last line there? Obviously, I have to send a huge thank you out to Little Spider Creations, Jordan, the co-owner of Little Spider Creations, for doing this interview and for allowing me to get a second chance at it after the first one got totally messed up. So, Jordan, do you have any final words for the viewers today?
stay sassy, keep it classy. But also update for the entire general population of anybody that's interested in working with us. We have two studios. So I have one studio in South Carolina, and I have another studio that just opened up here in Colorado, in northern Colorado. So if anybody's in one of those areas and wants to drive down one for a tour, if you're in Colorado, I'll give the tour. If you're in near South Carolina, that'll be somebody else. But also, in case anybody has a huge project that they want to work on with us, we exist in two different spots with unlimited capacity to take on whatever you guys need. So hit me up. I'm sure my deets maybe will be in the description. Yeah. Otherwise, get a hold of Griffin. Griffin will get a hold of me, and we'll make some magic.
Absolutely. I will 100% have all of your information in the description below. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, go check out Little Spider Creations, their website, all their social media. Give them a follow. You're definitely going to want to do that and check out all of the amazing projects and creations that they are working on now, in the future, and what they're going to have at TransWorld. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next interview.